a couple of days, let them roam in the backyard for a day, let them pick things out of the yard. They're cool. They're kind of William Osmond said they're kind of like insects. And I kind of agree with that assessment. They're really quite stupid because you think of birds, you're like, they're smart, like parrots and all these things. They talk. But chickens are really quite stupid.
No
They're
personality.
not good problem solvers. They're not quite like dogs, but you shake like a bag of mealworms or something, they'll come running up. It'll feel like they're a dog, but then you realize if there's like any like little barrier between you and them, they can't navigate it.
They won't get
all.
to you.
They're
And you don't feel like bonded with them. They're too stupid to bond with.
Yeah, too dumb. I open my arms to have them come in and give me like a hug or like rest their naked necks on mine, but they don't do it. They're just like pecking at my hands, pecking at my feet. Like, are you made of food?
And would you feel bad at any point to slaughter them for meat?
Oh, not at all. I wouldn't. Yeah. I've considered it a couple times because I'm like, they're just a bit of a hassle.
Would you kill them yourself?
Probably not.
You would take them to a butcher.
I'd send them to a farm or something.
That's interesting that you're so unbonded with them.
So weird.
Yeah, I mean
But that's
they're
it.
chickens.
I mean, back in the day,
yeah,
people slaughter like really smart animals.
So is this a COVID thing? You just wanted to have like eggs?
No, it just happened to correspond with COVID. It was just a weird little coincidence.
Let me ask you this. To the value of the eggs, like monetary value, how does the monetary value of the eggs compare to the amount of money you spend on the chickens? Do you think you're making money?
I think it's probably a wash. The coop is obviously like a big upfront expense. If we eliminate that and pretend that that's not part of it, it's like you're maybe paying a little bit more than you would at the store. However, it's pretty cruelty free, and I'm actually kind of uncertain why some vegans are like a bit upset, I think, with the prospect of raising your own chickens, because you can make sure that they have plenty of space and all of that. But I think it's just the general concept of using animals as a resource, period. That's the problem. But it's super symbiotic. It's nice.
Interesting.
And how's the egg quality compared to what you find in the store?
Oh, no, it's the same.
It's the same shit. Okay.
Everyone that you talk about like is going to be like, "Oh my gosh, you've never tasted anything as good as a homegrown egg." It tastes exactly the same. Fucking
So do they like cock-a-doodle-doo in the morning?
I think that's a rooster.
Oh, that's a rooster.
That would have to be
Right.
the
a
male version.
Where are all the males, by the way?
You don't have males?
No, I don't think there's much of a reason to. I think if you have a lot, I think you want to have like one male rooster for a certain amount of females, either to feel safe or some shit like that. But I will say to your point of cock-a-doodle-doing, in the morning they will make. I can only compare it to like someone blowing out a toilet when they're shitting out their eggs. They make a lot of strained noises.
Oh my
like,
god!
Really?
Yeah,
what time in the morning are we talking?
I mean, basically the time when you'd hear a rooster.
Like
early.
5 a.m., 6 a.m.?
7 a.m., I'd say.
Do you think your neighbors can hear your chickens shitting eggs?
Oh, they can, yeah.
Damn, I'd be pissed if I was your neighbor. I'd be like, this motherfucker. You should offer them some eggs.
Yeah, you should.
That's true. Wow, that is very weird.
I think that's cool. No, it's not
It's
weird.
cool,
How dare you?
But it's also
It's
weird.
It's a little
weird.
But I think it's cool,
It's cool.
too. I mean, you connect with the
Like, you can be
earth.
cool and weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Weird
That's
is
kind of
cool.
the whole point.
Right.
In
Hell
Santa
yeah.
Cruz, everyone has a bumper sticker that says, keep Santa Cruz weird.
There you go.
I think everywhere that has
that.
graffiti has keep so-and-so weird. Keep Portland fucky. Keep San Francisco not what is it? Gentrified. Whatever.
Right. What do they say about LA? They say, keep LA smoggy.
LA smoggy. I like that. All right. Are we
Shall we bring
going
Dax?
on?
So let's bring out
Madison?
should I call him Dax or Madison?
You can call him whatever you want.
I'll call him
I think
Dak.
he kind of enjoys getting a variety of
Okay.
comments.
So let's figure it out. Let's navigate that space. We are going to bring on the subject, Ian's subject of his new documentary, Dak's Flame. He is I want to say, infamous, really, one of the early YouTubers, and people would say an enigma. I think the thing that you often hear about Dax is people can't tell if he is doing a character or if he's being genuinely himself. That's one of the fascinations with him. Regardless, he's a nice, sweet guy from all I can tell, and I'm looking forward to talking to him. So I'm going to go take a quick shit. We're going to do a little cut, and then we'll bring out Dax.
Okay. Was not necessary to say it.
Well, I felt like just keeping everyone updated. I'll be right back. Well, with us, we have Dax Flame, otherwise known as Madison. Or Theodore, even, as according to your Wikipedia page, a man of many names.
Oh, I didn't set it on there. Yeah.
What do you prefer to go by, or do you not have a preference?
Well, people call me a little bit of everything, so I don't care. But it's usually Dax or Madison. No one calls me Theodore anymore. Yeah.
Why Dax Flame? Where did that name come from?
Just like a 15-year-old's version of what I thought was cool at the time, and then that's just what I got famous with, so it's what I still go by. But at the time, it was just what I thought was a cool name. Obviously, as a 28-year-old, I don't think the same, but it's like my stage name now because that's what I got credited in as movies. And yeah.
Well, to give you credit, I think that my pseudonyms that I was making at 15 years old were way less cool than that. They were probably like. I'm trying to think of some of the dumb names I had in video games. You know what I'm talking about?
Dildo Saggins.
Yeah.
Dildo Saggins. Yeah. Butt Fudge is with me to this day.
But I mean, that's not an attempt to be cool.
Right.
That's just being goofy, right?
That is just being goofy. No. What do you think about Poop Feast 420? That's my current tag name on my video games. Do you like Poop Feast 420?
It depends what you're going for.
Yeah, I guess that's true. How does it feel, Dax? I want to talk about the documentary. You are the subject of Ian's new documentary. How do you feel being selected as the subject of a documentary?
Ooh, lucky. Yeah, because it was really fun to do. Got to make the game show that I've been dreaming of making. And I was thinking maybe I would do a Kickstarter for the game show at the time, but who knows if that would have gone through. So to just be able to go make it was awesome. And then now, can you still hear me if I'm like this?
Yes.
Now everyone's watching it, and it's been out for like 2 hours or something, and getting so many views, which is crazy. And my video is getting a lot more views than it ever gets. So that's really exciting.
How did it feel watching the documentary, the final product?
It's really fun to watch. It's really interesting to because you live your whole life, and to have someone else summarize your life is interesting.
You think he did a good job? You think he nailed you?
Oh yeah. It's good. It's really good. Yeah.
Would you criticize it in front of him?
Oh no.
What do you think, Dax? Let me ask you this. Why do you think people are so confused about you? Because I'm sure the most common comment you get from everybody who knows you, who meets you, is, I can't tell if you're being serious or if you're kidding. Why is it that you think people are so confused?
I think just because I think 15-year-old me was a lot more wacky and just manic. And especially when I turned the camera on back then, it's you start to see that get attention. So I just would lean into that. So I think that's they just probably hadn't seen someone as similar to that. Although I used to get a lot of comments saying oh, there's someone just like this at my school. So yeah, I don't know.
So this story, in your most popular video, you say you stole from your girl, the girl you had a crush on. You stole out of her bag. What was it?
Pencil box?
The what?
Pencils?
Pencils, and you broke all of her
Snapped some
pencils.
pencils, yeah.
So is that true? You stole stuff out of her bag.
Yeah, well, it's just like an awkward attempt at flirting that I try to avoid thinking about these days. But I'm open to talking about it with people because I know they're interested in it. But yeah.
Because when I see that video, I tell myself, there's no way this actually happened. But you stand by the fact that you did take stuff out of her purse for the purpose of flirting with her and being like, "Hey, look what I found."
Yeah.
Wow. Well, how did it come to fruition? Did you ever return the items to her?
I think
I think he put
like,
it back in the bag, right? In the story.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever took them.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah. Like I think I just snapped the pencils and put it back.
And put it back.
And then,
or maybe I took the
no,
glasses.
but you had stuff with him. He was on his desk and he's like, "Look at the stuff I took out of her bag."
Some glasses. And
Yeah.
maybe a ring or
yeah.
So
something.
did you ever return it to her?
I think that's a.
I don't know. I don't remember. I think I like maybe I was wearing the glasses the next day or something. I don't know.
Oh man.
That's just it. I think that's what makes it so interesting and confusing is because I think normally people who are in your position, young and a little bit socially awkward, wouldn't then make a video presenting that concept to people. And I think the idea that just the fact that it's shared makes it unbelievable.
Well, I think whenever you like are getting attention for something and like you're getting a lot of positive feedback, it just makes you want to like do that. Yeah.
Did you have like comedic influence at the time that you were looking up to? Comedians that you.
I liked like listening to stand-up comedy and stuff. Yeah. I think I would just like listen to people on YouTube. I like Jerry Seinfeld and
Love Jerry Seinfeld.
You like Seinfeld, the show?
I don't watch that. I think I watched it once when I got my wisdom teeth out. Just had to
at
like
the dentist,
sit and watch
they made
stuff
you
all
watch
day.
it.
What?
They made you watch some shit when they're working on your teeth.
No, whenever I had to take the painkillers for a couple days, and they're just like,
I see.
all I could do is watch TV, and that was what was on.
Okay, let me ask you. When you made that video, and I'm sorry, I know this is old news, right? This you probably talked about a million times, but I'm curious.
No, it's okay.
Did you know that it was funny when you made this video about stealing stuff from the girl you liked's bag? Or was it like a confession? What was the intention behind that video?
I don't know. I think I was just feeling sort of hyped that day. So I was like, I was hyped on the girl, hyped on having like a lot of views on YouTube probably. And I just remember being really excited as I uploaded it. I was just like, and excited to go back to school the next day and stuff. But yeah, I think I always knew that I always got so many comments saying that stuff was funny. So I don't know, like I think it was like this mixture of like, yeah, just like I don't know. Next question, because I lost my train of thought.
How do you feel about being compared? People always say, another thing I always hear about you is people say you're the Andy Kaufman of YouTube or something like that, or they compare you to Andy Kaufman a lot. Do you accept that comparison, or how do you feel about that?
I like some of it. Whenever I've like looked him up and stuff, I don't connect completely. He seems a little jerkish in some ways, but I did like I watched like the Man on the Moon movie and stuff, and it was really good. Yeah.
But I guess what they mean is like he skirted the same line, right? Of not knowing who the real him is, where the real him is, and where the character starts and stops.
For sure, yeah. I think the mystery element I definitely connect with, because that's always been a big factor in like people watching me. So yeah, there's always been like a huge aura of mystery around my videos, which I think is good for people, like entertainment. Like people enjoy that.
But when I saw you in Ian's documentary, I get the feeling that you don't really get where the mystery is at. I feel like maybe you just do you understand why people think that you're mysterious, or to you, are you just being yourself?
I think I get some of it. Yeah, but I also don't really need to examine it because it's like,
right.
If I try and find a line and then address the line specifically, it's better just who cares because the mystery is good. So, yeah.
What do you feel about the YouTube landscape today? Because you were one of the early creators, right? At the time, I recall you were like 16th most subscribed channel with like 250,000 subscribers. Just to give you an idea.
No, probably more like 100,000.
Oh, 100. Oh. So YouTube was in its infancy very much, but you were one of the top creators at the time. Obviously, a lot's changed. What do you think now when you look at kind of the leaderboard of what's popular on YouTube now?
I actually don't know how to find the leaderboard, how it used to be, because they used to have like a top 100 where you click through. So I don't know, like I can't identify the leaderboard, but I definitely see what's trending and stuff. And my thoughts are, I don't know, it's all fine, whatever. There's some, I like to watch stuff. I'll click on trending sometimes and find some stuff, listen to music on YouTube. And it's definitely, if you're a YouTube celebrity now, compared to back then, you're like a legit celebrity.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting that you pointed out how back then that wasn't the case. And today, I guess it's true. I mean, it's still kind of like weird to think about, but like YouTube celebrity is like celebrity.
The audience is way bigger, the subscribers way bigger, and you make money now. I mean, back then you didn't even make money, right?
Yeah, actually, in high school, I probably saved up like $10,000 because after I was most popular, then they started to pay people like with a partnership program. So I was on the second wave of the partnership program.
So you did make a little money.
Yeah, I think these days you would probably like, if you're in that position, you'd go appear on talk shows like Ellen and stuff. And like, you know, that's what the more route that teen influencers go, I think.
Are you still working at the ice cream shop?
No. No, the shop closed down in January.
From the sabotages?
Well, did you have anything to do with it?
No, I don't think that played a role. But
you know, I'm curious. What do you think your manager will say when they see that part about the sabotage?
I don't know. I showed it to my assistant manager. She's really nice. Maybe I'll send her this video. And she was. I never hated her or anything, and I won't actively say anything about anyone else who I might have not liked. But I won't say anything. But if they found it. They'd be shocked. I think they would not like it. Yeah,
because they probably thought you were the upstanding, employee. But
no, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't.
Or else they would have I was trying to get a raise for so long. It's such old news now. Because then I went and worked at like a cafe for a week. I worked at the sushi place, and then I've been living off unemployment checks, which has been great because it pays a lot, and I haven't had to work, so I've just been able to stay home and be creative and not worry about Corona or anything. So that was really lucky. But they didn't think I was upstanding, I don't think.
But then why would they be shocked that you were giving away free ice cream, I wonder?
Well, they'd be shocked that I wrote a book.
That you wrote a book, I see.
But I did used to email the owners and stuff and like ask them if I could ever do an interview with them and stuff, or like emailed them this drawing I did of them and stuff like that, and emailed the GM and stuff. But I talked. The GM was there, so there were multiple GMs there too. So
it's an ice cream empire. It sounds like.
Yeah, but then the whole place. Well, edit this out if it's not legal to say anything like this. But the whole place like went bankrupt eventually, and I don't want to say anything else.
It sounds like
and the reason because it went bankrupt is because
the free ice cream. Yeah, the free ice creams.
Well, that part of your book sounded so funny. I actually immediately after watching the documentary, I ordered both of your books because I really want to read them, and I thought the cover looked cool too.
Yeah,
thank you.
They're all on Amazon, by the way. If anyone wants to support Dax, anyone wants to read his literature, definitely head on over. Your pen name is Dax Flame, right? All the books are under that name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that you think you were overlooked for the promotion that you sought so passionately? You're at an ice cream store, you're working your butt off, you're keeping everything organized. What's going on? Why did they give you reasons why you kept getting passed over? How long did you work there?
15 months.
That's a long time.
At like a year and a few months.
Did you get any raises in that time?
Also, thanks for having me on the podcast. Thanks for, I don't know why that just occurred to me, but anyways.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I think because people don't like to pay someone more money. So if you know that this person is going to keep working there no matter what, you don't have to pay them more. So,
the big corporate world.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately they did go bankrupt, so I guess maybe it wasn't. Maybe they didn't have the leverage to give you a raise after all.
Yeah. So because they kept promising, this date we'll give you the raise, we'll give you a promotion to like senior scooper was the position.
Senior scooper.
Senior scooper. Yeah. And then I think that maybe they would have followed through if the money wasn't getting tight because they. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe I was mad at them for the wrong reasons. You know, always got to consider the other side.
May I ask how much of a raise you were pursuing?
From $15 an hour to $16 an hour.
Oh,
that's what senior scooper gets paid.
Is it
Was it about the money or was it about the prestige?
Honestly, probably the acknowledgement.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know it sounds really silly to get so fixated on something like that. At the time, it felt important, but like I don't know. But yeah,
is it one of the worst jobs? I always feel like
in the world.
Yeah, like giving the people all the different flavors. I don't know why. I always feel like it's got to be a really annoying job.
Yeah, I like talking to people. That I enjoyed that, I guess. What I hated was like cleaning and stuff. There's so much cleaning to do, and it was this really big shop, so there was lots of surfaces to clean and stuff after closing, and it stayed open late too. So I'm glad I'm not there.
What do you recall? Any instances of people requesting an absurd amount of samples?
Some people would sample everything, and I didn't mind that if they seemed like nice and fun to talk to. But I did mind whenever they were like one thing that just popped into my mind, this like one specific thing someone said to me was, I remember we had these Mickey Mouse flavors for a bit. And this man was asking about them. And I was like, we have 3 different of the Mickey Mouse flavors. And he's like, I really couldn't care less, man. And then he started asking for other samples. I was like, thinking, well, why did you ask me?
Yeah. And was he by himself or was he with people?
I don't remember.
Because I feel like that would be even weirder if he was by himself, you know?
Yeah, you get a lot of weird people.
Did you eat? I noticed that in the documentary.
I don't eat ice cream.
Yeah, you kind of finished my question. You got ahead of it. I was going to say, is that in the documentary you said you hate ice cream? Is that a result of working there, or did you hate ice cream before you started working there?
Well, I used to love ice cream, and then I wanted to try to not eat it for a week, and then I kept doing that, and then I started to like fruit because I never liked healthy things before that. So then I was like, I guess my taste buds desensitized a bit, so then fruit started to taste good, and now I just try and stick with that because I like smoothies so much.
So do you think it's accurate to say you hate ice cream? Because that seems maybe a strong statement for what you just described.
I would probably enjoy it, but at the time that we filmed the documentary, I was working around it also, I despised the
But
sight.
it was not only ice cream that you said you hate. It was ice cream, cereal, and popcorn, right?
Yeah, cereal and popcorn I hate because of the texture.
That's a lot of really great items.
Yeah.
To hate.
Yeah, popcorn.
It's like
I don't know that
definition of everyone's like favorite foods, basically.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: what's your favorite food? Take your time too.
Are you very picky with food?
No, well, I'm vegetarian. I like meat a lot, but I haven't eaten it for a while. But I'm vegetarian. I like Impossible burgers; those are really good.
There you go.
Beyond burgers aren't that good to me, but Impossible burgers are really good. And smoothies, of course. But I feel goofy saying that.
How could I forget? How could I even ask that? Now, in the smoothie, your concept for the smoothie show, do you think it would be funny maybe to because it seemed like all the ingredients were relatively good, and then people would be going to choose an ingredient, and you'd be like, oh, don't choose that, I don't like that. It seems like
they didn't understand that those ingredients were placed there for the sabotage round, because I thought that they wouldn't pick those, like the granola, same texture as cereal, and
see, that doesn't
corn syrup.
You know what would
unhealthy.
be a real sabotage? For me, would be like fish oil or something like that.
I put flaxseed oil in my smoothies, as long as you can't taste it and it adds some health.
But that's what I'm saying. It seems like ultimately the goal is you still want to end up with a relatively good smoothie at worst. But what I'm wondering is potentially the sabotage
How
could be
bad can it get?
something really disgusting like
Tomatoes,
fish oil or something like that. You know what I mean?
Would you taste fish oil?
I think it would taste very bad, but maybe that's funny.
Yeah, then I would. Yeah, that would be a great sabotage thing. That would destroy their chances of winning that round.
I guess
I will say that this is something that that we struggled with when trying to come up with like the sabotage idea. I think at one point I was like, I had the same thought, Ethan, where I was like, yeah, let's put a fish in there, like a big salmon. You come out with a big salmon. Dane was like, yeah, we can call it Salmon-tage. and it was one of those things where I think there was just a miscommunication. It almost seemed like Dax just wanted enjoyable smoothies. Like
that's what it seemed like
anyway.
Well, yeah, I think that would have been a good idea, the salmon or the fish oil, because that would have been more obvious. The person would accidentally pick it, and I would have to say, don't pick it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I wouldn't recommend putting the sabotage next to the normal ingredients either. But although if somebody like proactively chooses a sabotage ingredient, you should probably just let them. That just means they're a bad contestant, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to put someone in that position because you saved us because we lost our opponent.
Yeah, the housekeeper crushed it. I mean, I was very impressed by her.
Yeah,
she won every round.
Yeah,
she kind of flaunted on that. She flexed on that guy too a little bit, didn't she?
Yeah, when he was having a hard time opening the mixer.
Yeah, she's kind of a legend.
Yeah, Letitia was awesome.
Have you seen Fear Factor? I'm like an aficionado of that show.
I think when I was a kid, I saw it.
Because they used to make smoothies and some of the challenges, but they would be with
I've seen that with
testicles and intestines and shit, stuff like that.
Rats.
But like, I think that might be more entertaining to watch because I guess maybe there's not
That's a different crowd.
But I just don't think I just question how entertaining it is to watch somebody drink a delicious smoothie.
Well, I think I also want to promote like health and stuff through like showing healthy ingredients. Well, actually, that could be used in the sabotage, though. What you're saying, combine the best of both worlds.
Right. That's what it. But ultimately, you're the one that has to drink it. So maybe we have to put other people up to drinking it.
Yeah.
If you don't.
I also had another reality show idea recently, today or yesterday, but I don't think I should talk about it yet.
Okay. Would you consider if you make the smoothie game show? Would you consider having the winner on, like in Jeopardy? And maybe she can continue on.
Oh, yeah, that's what I would like to do. Have like 20 episodes of that and then a 10-episode playoff round where best of like this person, then ultimately there's a championship.
Oh, there's like a bracket.
Yeah, that's why we have to get rid of Corona, amongst other reasons. But then if Corona was gone, we could film the.
Yeah, that's the main reason we need to get rid of this virus.
One of the main reasons.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, fuck. I need to know. I need that bracket. Shit.
What are you looking to be doing with yourself? Ideally, like what are your goals right now?
I don't know. I don't know what to do with my life, but I do know what my next steps are. Like I'm always good at picking the next thing. But there's something I've been writing, but I don't know if I should talk about it or not.
You want to give? What's that?
But but well, I don't know. But there's a couple things that I'm working on that I'm excited about.
A book or like a script or?
Yeah, talk about it, Dax.
Oh,
It's okay.
I just have a new book I'm probably going to put out in like a week or two.
Cool.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice.
About quarantine.
About quarantine. Oh, that's a great topic.
And like I've had a couple business ideas I've been working on and stuff, but like always I just like I have an idea and I just like go with it and it either pans out or it doesn't, or maybe it turns into something else. So I just like go with that. But eventually I probably need to find like a good job or like figure something out. But
is writing your main thing that you like doing, or acting?
Yeah, I love all of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we included it in the documentary, but we did talk about a little bit more in depth, like what his Dax's goals and dreams are, like dream job and stuff like that. And in general, like it's just kind of anything creative and like within the entertainment sphere. I think he'd be down to do pretty much any of it as long as it's not some robot job.
Right.
I feel that. I mean, yeah. I totally get that.
The hours are the worst part of those kinds of jobs.
What were your shifts like?
Well, just like you never knew what your schedule would be. So sometimes you'd work till like midnight, and then sometimes you'd start.
I've been there. I hate that.
Yeah, that's right. It's almost like cruel and unusual to have someone work a shift at 8 a.m. and then anytime during the week they might have to come in at 5 p.m. It's like, who can? And then they work till like 12 or 1. I mean, who can live their life so unscheduled?
What were y'all's least favorite
young people?
jobs?
What were sorry, say it again.
What were y'all's least favorite jobs?
My favorite job?
Least favorite.
Oh, my
least favorite.
Oh, that's easy for me.
Yeah, it's easy for me too.
When I was when was this? I think it was during a summer. My parents made me get a job, and I really didn't want to work like fast food just for whatever reason. I didn't look down on it, or it wasn't like that. I mean, it's I think all jobs are admirable. My brother worked at Taco Bell, and he didn't hate it, but I just didn't want to work in fast food. So I looked in the newspaper for any opportunity, and I found this company. At the time, they were paying $15, or maybe it was $12 an hour. But it was like good pay for the time, because this was a long time ago. The minimum wage was like $7 an hour or something, $7.25. So I was like, shit, $10, $12 an hour. It's a little extra money. I like that right off the bat. The job was, first of all, I went first to the interview, and they give you this test. It's like a multiple choice test, like 3 sheets of paper. You fill out the answers. I remember specifically they gave me a pencil, not a pen, which I thought, I don't know why that stuck out to me, but they were really horrible. Like, just, you'd have to be brain dead not to answer these questions correctly. So the bar was already really low. I passed the test. The job itself was going into huge retail stores like Walmart's, Targets, Ralph's, stuff like that. You go in after store hours and you have a little laser gun and you just scan inventory to take inventory of their stock. I don't know. I guess back then they didn't really have the technology. So they had all these people come in the middle of the night and just scan shit, right? So the hours were insane. They were like sometimes we would start at 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. So I'm by nature a night owl, I would say. And so forcing myself to like try to go to bed at, 4 p.m. it wasn't just difficult, it was impossible. So I'd lay in bed just trying to sleep. I would end up just not sleeping at all, getting up at 1 a.m., which is just ungodly. And then driving, in the dead of night out into like some bullshit retail store. And I remember one night I was so tired, I left my car keys in the door for the entire 8-hour shift. And then I came back. I was like, where's my keys? I can't believe I lost my car keys. And I went back to my car and the keys were in the fucking door the whole time. That's how tired I was.
How old were you?
Oh, probably like 18.
Oh, dang.
And anyway, the work was just like beyond
It's an
horrible.
inventory count, right?
It was just monotonous. They had like these pros, right? Like they had like inventory ninjas who had been there for like 30 years, and they were making $15 an hour, and they were like scanning like it was high noon.
That too. I've had to do that when I was working in like a retail shop, and I think they do it like once a year or something, and it was the biggest nightmare.
Well, we were the cavalry, right? They called us in when they wanted it really good. But the problem was I sucked. I fucking sucked at the job. For some reason, I couldn't scan accurately. And then they would have like, because I was a noob, they would bring in like the Doc Holliday of scanning to fact check my work. And then they'd be like, dude, you got the count wrong. Like every time they'd be like, dude, you got the count wrong.
That feels the worst when you're already in like a job that you feel like you're not better than, but like at least qualified for, like bare minimum. And they come in, they're like, oh yeah, you're actually not doing your job nearly as efficient and good as you could be.
And I was just the worst. I mean, I was just miserable, dude. And the people, took their job so seriously who were these scanners. And I just found the whole thing so fucking ridiculous.
My worst job
was my worst job by far.
Was a waitress. Just, I had many of those kind of like shitty whatever jobs, but just in general, being a waitress, and there was a specific restaurant that was the worst.
Social club?
No, well, that was bad, but I was only there a week, so it doesn't really count. But the Italian one.
What, really? That was your worst job?
Yeah, because the food wasn't good. And so
it was expensive too.
And it was kind of expensive, and everything would fall on me from both sides. Like the customers weren't happy, and then the people in the kitchen were douchebags. So it's like you go to the kitchen to complain on behalf of the customer, you get yelled at, and then you go give a bad answer to the customer and you get yelled at. So it was like the worst job ever.
It doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that there could be really high variance for like a waitressing job. Like it could be really good if the food's awesome, the chefs or whoever else is accountable.
Yeah.
And you have good customers. But if you have like any link in the chain is shitty, it's all going to come down on the waiters and waitresses. That sucks.
Ian, do you have a worse job? Since we're asking.
The Gap.
Oh, you worked at the Gap?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's similar experience with you and the late night shift thing. I went in for a general sales associate position, but it was like a kind of a round table, bunch of people applying for the job, young people, older people. And they just sort of assumed that every guy there was there to work warehouse, like do the shipping and receiving and unloading of merchandise in the morning. So I got tasked on that. And it was the same experience as you, where it was like, I'm a night owl. They want me to come in at 3 a.m. And it's like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, there were days, it's not good, but there were days where I was like driving home and it's like, I'm like almost falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
There were some close calls and I was just like, holy fuck. Like, it's good the roads are empty right now.
Yep.
Otherwise, it'd be over.
No,
so it was just, I don't know. It was like not good hours. And then also kind of like Dax's example, people constantly coming in and out because they were giving a higher rate of pay at the time, $10 an hour. That was like really good.
Yeah.
Compared to the 8 minimum wage. So they wanted to work you really hard. They had a ton of employees. They wanted to work you really hard for like 8 hours a week or whatever the threshold was.
Oh, fucking God. It's so crazy how they just game the system to fucking squeeze people for everything.
It's very stupid. There was a Reddit post recently where like, I think it was McDonald's or some big company was trying to show low income workers how they could live comfortably.
Yeah, McDonald's, I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
It was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's a classic McDonald's thing where they had a budget. They're like, how to make money on minimum wage? And it included a second job and $0 for heating.
Yeah. and didn't account for like it's like best case scenario as far as like your rates of like electricity, trash, whatever else. It assumes that you have negotiated as a poor person the best deal you can get for all of these services. Just fucking bizarre.
You know what was worse at that waiting job too that I was talking about? That if you made a mistake, like any kind of mistake, like ordering the wrong item for someone or someone got out without paying, they would take it out of your tips.
Is that legal in Israel? Because it's not legal here.
I know. I think that's common in some.
I don't know.
I've heard stories like that.
At least in California, I think it's not legal in California. Maybe it is in other states.
I don't know, but that was so shitty.
Yeah, it's so shitty.
They also didn't pay us minimum wage. It was just tips.
Oh, so that's the crazy thing in Israel is that I think it's actually like that in some states too, not in California. They don't have to pay you even a minimum wage. You just make money in tips, which ends up being basically maybe a tiny bit more than minimum wage.
Right.
Yeah, and super high variance in what you're going to come home with at the end of each day.
Yeah.
No predictability. You can't fucking count on anything. Yeah, that sucks.
So, Dax, may I ask you a personal question? I recently acquired a bidet. And before we went on, I took a shit. I have a toilet literally right behind us. There's a bathroom there. And I used toilet paper for the first time in a while. I like to remind myself of where I came from, to know where I'm going, as they say, or whatever. What I'm wondering,
what do you mean, like to stay in touch with the people?
Well, I don't necessarily think that a bidet is so bougie, because in Europe everyone has a bidet, and you can buy for example, one of our sponsors, Tushy, they make an attachment for $75. So it's not exactly bougie, although I will admit that ours is very bougie. But what I'm leading to is, what is your wiping ritual?
Oh, just the pretty average toilet paper.
Yeah.
From the front or the back?
Oh, no comment.
No comment. If I can give you my own anecdote, maybe it will encourage you to share. Is that I think most dudes wipe from the back. I myself cup my balls and penis and wipe. I scoop out from the front and then back. I don't do that anymore because you do that, Ian?
Yeah, I've done. I don't cut my dick and balls, but
well, don't you need to get them out of the way?
No, I'm pretty spatially aware of where my rectum is and where the dick and balls are.
I just like
hanging.
to get it out of the way, I guess. But I'm fascinated that you go from the front, because a lot of people, when I came out of the closet as a front wiper,
it was very
I caught a lot of
shocking.
shit for it. No pun intended. And we did a poll that showed actually, I think 35 to 40% are front wipers. So I don't know if that encouraged you to share if you're front or back, but of course.
Oh, I'm probably more in the majority there.
You're in the majority, yeah. Understood.
So what do y'all think is the key to YouTube success? Changing topics.
That was not. Damn.
Talking about how you poop.
Hang on, dude. We can't steer that. You don't like the topic of shit. Okay, fair enough.
You're listening to the key to YouTube success.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
What is the key?
The key to YouTube success is, there's a couple different routes, okay? There's the easy and fast way, which is just, talking shit about people and sensationalized titles and thumbnails. So that's a really easy way to I don't know if it's relatively easy, because you still have to make at least something compelling about your videos, but that's certainly the easiest way to YouTube success, or at least recognition. But the infinitely more difficult way, and I hate to say it, almost even impossible, it seems like today, is the genuine, being a genuine person and just like, I feel like to succeed on YouTube these days, you need some kind of shtick, right? Like, not to deride Mr. Beast, because I think he's talented. I like his channel. I'm just using him as an example. Is that like everything needs to be like the biggest and the best and the craziest idea, and he's really talented and really good at what he does. And I think he's a great channel and he's a positive channel. So I'm not at all trying to insult him. I just think that he is kind of the model of YouTube success right now. Are you familiar with Mr. Beast? Yeah. So you kind of, that's like, unfortunately, there's a lot of competition for clicks and eyeballs on YouTube right now. And so, you know, making genuine, grounded content, you can certainly garner a fan base, but I guess success is obviously subjective, right? Like,
I think it's very important to just decide what success means to you, because I think like Mr. Beast is a great example of how successful you can be.
Mm-hmm.
But there are definitely a lot of channels making livable, good incomes with a relatively small audience or niche audience. And I think that's what I would define success as personally. A lot of people just try to shoot for the stars or whatever, but I think definitely just having success could just be making a living wage, right?
What did you mean, Dax, when you asked?
I think that those answers combined are perfect, because I was meaning like traditional. How do you become number one? How do you?
Yeah, that's how I interpreted it.
What? Yeah,
that's how I interpreted it.
But yeah, the definition of success is everything in life.
It is everything. How do you define success?
Just being happy.
Are you successful?
Yeah, sometimes. And sometimes not. But then it happens again.
How do you even define happiness? I mean, is that an attainable goal even? I mean, what does that mean?
There's a very good, I think they're on TikTok and also Instagram. There's a guy who goes around asking complete strangers, just cold calls them and says, hey, like what, or are you happy? He just goes up to them and asks random people that. And you get quite a depth of answers from people. He talks to some homeless people who are smiling ear to ear, and they're like, yeah, I'm living on the beach. This is awesome. I love my life. There's other people who are a little bit more like to themselves and like don't really want to share or feel like it's too personal to ask, are you happy? Worth checking out. I don't know the name of the channel.
That is interesting.
But, yeah.
But Dax, you were saying you define happiness, you said, by just feeling good.
That's probably not like specific enough, but like good. There's like a lot of things that go into it, but like good and healthy and yeah. Satisfaction on like that Maslow's pyramid thing.
The pyramid of like shelters at the bottom kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. But I guess you feel, at least I learned from through the documentary, that your income is a little unstable, right? That's kind of maybe the one factor.
Yeah, that can really mess with your happiness if you're stressed about money all the time. So fortunately, I could have been so stressed with Corona stuff if unemployment didn't come through, and if I got sick too. So luckily, stayed healthy and got that money, and so good for the next few months because it paid me more than enough. So I've just been buying food and nothing else. So saved up a little, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've had lots of money before and no money at all, and so yeah, it's more fun to have money.
Yeah, I heard that you were paid. You were in 2 movies, 21 Jump Street and what was the other one called? Project X. And you said you were paid enough that you lived off the money for like 5 years, right?
Yeah. Well, I was also in a few other movies, but those were the big ones that I got paid the most for.
Are you? Feel free not to answer, but I'm curious if you could ballpark what was the payment for those projects. You don't have to answer, by the way.
Oh, I could tell you whatever. I don't care. So I probably got paid like 30,000 or 40,000 when I was filming them, and then I didn't know I would get residuals checks.
Oh.
So a couple years later, I started to get a random residuals check. So that started out really big. So probably overall, like $300,000 from
holy
acting
crap.
in those movies.
Yeah.
And so still, I'll get like a $200 residuals check every once in a while. So that's cool. But yeah, I lived off that for the longest time.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot.
Acting pays a lot when you can actually get it, but then it's just so hard to get, and auditions suck. And yeah.
Why is it? It's.
You've been through such a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
How was it? You must ask yourself, how was it that you got cast in these two really, successful roles, and then suddenly, like, you were unable to find work? I mean, why is that? You must ask yourself.
I just started to suck at auditions. Like the first one was really good because you didn't really have to be a good actor because you're like just like Project X. That was like a good getting acclimated to acting because like you're allowed to just like look at the camera and like film and like so that was the perfect first role. And then 21 Jump Street came like a year later, even though they were released at the same time. And then I got really close on like We're the Millers. I got like second place. And I even went to an audition with Jason Sudeikis. I got really close on this Ryan Gosling movie that he made, but I don't think many people saw it. But I did a lot of auditions, and Christina Hendricks was going to play my mom. And then I got close on maybe one other movie, and then I just started to do really, really bad in auditions. Like I couldn't memorize my lines and mess up all the time. So then I started writing screenplays. I've written a lot of screenplays because then you just make your own movie, act in your own movie, make a game show.
You think you got psyched out maybe a little bit from all the rejection, and then started getting in your head? Like, why do you think you started messing up the auditions?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, some of them were good, but maybe they just wanted a different person or something. But now I don't get auditions. But I don't really mind because I like making my own videos and stuff, and like even made my own documentary before. It's kind of boring, the one I made. Ian's is really exciting and great, and not boring.
Are you talking about the one about your
Dax's documentary is good.
Yeah, you're talking about the one about the Kickstarter?
Yes, I made a Kickstarter for one. Well, I made it for documentary with an invention thing. And
yeah, I watched that. Actually, I wanted to ask you about that. You made a documentary about an invention you made for an indoor garden. It was funded, and you made your but the Kickstarter, weirdly, was for the documentary, right? Not for the product.
Yeah.
You were very specific about that.
Yeah.
Is that because
when you make a Kickstarter, you have to promise a product. So I promised backers that I would give them a documentary. And actually, I said it's boring, but I like it. But it is kind of slow. But you have to promise to make something for them. So I said I would make a documentary if they let me use a portion of the documentary budget to make my invention. Because that was like the first time money was like super tight for me. So I was trying to like figure out a way to like get rich quick, essentially. And so it's just kind of just like a scrambling shot in the dark. And it's a great idea, which is why it's been made since then. And it's similar to hydroponics, but it doesn't have a water, like it's not based on water or whatever. It's more like self-watering and stuff. And so I think there's like now been plenty of things made similarly to it. And ultimately, like who cares? Because then in the end, I got to make a documentary at the very least about it. So win-win. But then I had to get it. I had to worry about money still for a while. But.
Now you posted online that somebody had stolen your invention and it was in stores.
Yeah. Someone emailed me that Macy's is selling the exact product, and I've seen it plenty of places since then. Like now, people keep sending it to me.
Do you think you were the genesis for this concept? Do you think people stole it from you?
I think it's easy to get caught up in your own head at times, especially if you're feeling stressed about other stuff. So I made that video in this scrambling moment, and then I just posted it thinking I'll delete it later. Like I was about to go to work, and then so I think probably that two people in different parts of the world can have the exact same idea and start working at it on the same time, on it at the same time, or they could have even been working on it before me and I never knew it. So I think yeah, like at the time, like, oh, they stole my idea, whatever. But I don't think.
Have you followed the success of any of those products? Do you think I have a feeling that they're probably not getting rich off that idea?
Yeah, but I think it does have a lot of potential. Like I think it would be awesome, especially in a pandemic, to be able to pick your food out of your own house, like if you're into vegetables. But yeah, the problem I came up against is just the technology is so hard. But I think like everyone had so many doubts when I would go ask people's opinion, which is really helpful, but also like you have to kind of ignore them sometimes in order to innovate.
Do you have any other ideas that you want to put out there that people can steal right now?
No.
No.
Well, I have some ideas, but I don't want to be.
You don't want to put them out there. Yeah. Hold on to those.
Yeah. I had another idea that I started working on, and that didn't really pan out, though it could eventually someday. But that's kind of similarly led to a book that I want to write. So, like, I don't know. Like, that's why I always just do it anyways, because you never know what can come out of it.
Right. You have contemporaries on YouTube like Bo Burnham, who has gone on to
I've met him before a few times.
To gone on to great success, as you know. When you look to someone like Bo Burnham, do you maybe, how do you feel? Do you wonder maybe if you got left behind somehow, or are you envious in any way of the success he's found? I mean,
No, he's super talented. People like Charlie Puth, I feel less excited. Like there's some people who aren't that talented that I've never mind about the last thing, but like
who?
Like, there are people who like
who did you
got
say?
Really famous.
Charlie who?
It's more like an inside joke of Ian.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. It's in your book, so you can give it context.
Yeah,
So I just kind of hated on him for a second in my book.
What's his last name?
Like,
Charlie what?
He's probably really talented, Charlie Puth. But he used to send me hate messages on YouTube, so I wrote a hate chapter about him in my book because I was like feeling really bitter at the time. So kind of exactly what you were just describing. It's like, oh man, this person got more famous than me. But Bo Burnham.
Wait, who's Charlie Puth? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to know who that is.
He's a very handsome young man who's a singer and
here he is.
Does songs with Meghan Trainor and Wiz Khalifa.
And what kind of messages would he send you?
Like your voice sucks, your singing sucks.
Why would he send that? Just to be cruel?
Well, I think he's probably around the same age as Dax at the time.
Yeah. The only reason I even like remembered it is because he had a strange last name. So years later, whenever I saw that name again, I was like, oh my god, why is that person?
That's why I couldn't figure it out. Puth.
Yeah. But he's actually very talented. I have nothing against him, and I regret writing that chapter.
Has he ever apologized to you?
No, he doesn't. He probably doesn't remember.
Well, hold on, Charlie Puth. I think we have a beef to settle here.
But Bo Burnham's super talented, and
would you like an apology from Charlie Puth?
What?
Would you like an apology from Charlie Puth?
Yeah, I would take it, but I'm also kind of harassing him probably right now. But also, maybe he should.
Maybe he should. Yeah, okay. I think this is good. I mean, Charlie Puth, I think, needs to reckon with his past.
Yeah, Charlie Puth was a young YouTuber at the time. I think he made like outro music for Shane Dawson and some other YouTubers at the time. So he's been around for a while, and I think during that time he was just very young and didn't appreciate Dax's vocals.
Yeah, because I suck at singing, and it's probably annoying if you're really talented and working hard at something, and someone who sucks is getting more attention.
But
because at the time I wasn't like I was trying to sing like good, but I just sucked.
Sure, but he doesn't need to go out of his way to be.
No,
good.
yeah, it doesn't. necessarily justify being a hater, but also like when someone's 15, like whatever.
Yeah.
But
what if people went and told him his voice sucks? Would you be okay with that?
No, let's. This is a good chance for me to set an example for people. So I forgive him. I love your. I don't know his music really, but I'm sure it's great. And his voice does sound good in that song. See You Again. Very good falsetto. And I also can't get mad that he's more popular than me because I quit making videos at a certain point.
Sure,
so
yeah.
that's like my problem.
Well, I've really enjoyed spending time with both of you. Dax, I'm really happy that I feel like a lot of people are going to be checking, a lot of people are going to be checking in on you. And I think a lot of people are going to like what they see. They're going to find an interesting man with a lot of interesting insights, a talented author whose books are on Amazon right now, have good reviews on Amazon too. Obviously, we haven't had time to read them. We haven't got them yet, but I noticed Ice Cream Man has got all 5 stars across the board. So clearly you have a knack for literature. And,
thank you.
Well, it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed having you both on. Ian's documentary is obviously up now. Ice Cream Man, and we have with us the Ice Cream Man.
No longer.
Dax Flame. No longer the Ice Cream. No, he's forever the Ice Cream Man. I mean, immortalized in literature.
Like Batman.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Man.
Sounds better than the unemployment man.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's on Amazon. So how's the rate when someone buys that book? Do you get most of the money?
I sell it for $8, and I get $2.35 on that one. I sell my other book for $10, and I get $3.50 or something like that. And I'll sell my next book for $8 also. Print on demand, so it's good. Yeah, I bet it will sell.
Who's making all the money? You only get $2.
Well, it's print on demand, so you don't need to.
Yeah,
have
it's
any
also
liabilities.
through Amazon, which is a bit of a racket.
That's
I
would assume you make more than that per book.
But the books are very awesome. I don't read a lot of books, and I read both of them to completion. They are very funny.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have a feeling you have a knack as an author. My hunch is that you could be a very successful author, and I think you should keep pursuing that. That's my hunch anyway, for whatever it's worth.
Thank you.
But man, you're gonna have to sell a lot of fucking books at $2 a pop.
If you want more than $2 a pop to go to Dax, we do have a sabotage T-shirt that we are splitting the revenue with Dax.
That's awesome.
On.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, just better margins for everyone on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a couple of those. I'm gonna buy one for the whole crew after this. Well, I couldn't have had
one for them to all share, or one for each of them.
Yeah.
Well, we would rotate.
Shirt.
Yeah, we would rotate every podcast.
Well, I just want to say again that I really loved the documentary, and I love that you're going in this direction, Ian.
Yeah, love to see it.
It's really great.
Can't do it without people like Dax and all the other YouTubers who, pitched in.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to Brett Benowitz. He was the other participant in Smoothie Madness.
Oh, right. He was a great sport, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Letitia were awesome. It was super surprising. Brett was like the only nice person on Hollywood Boulevard.
I know. I noticed that. That was something, huh?
Yeah. He gave us the time of day. He would have kept talking to us for longer, but he had someplace he had to be. And yeah, he's making music. He's acting. He's cool. So, if you follow him on social media or anything, just be respectful and know that he's, he does a lot of other stuff.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Dax, I wish you well. I look forward to what's next from you. And Ian, the same goes for you. Thank you guys both for joining us. This has been the H3 Podcast Experience, Transcendental Experience. Joe Rogan's show.
What's up? It's the Misfits podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by Wonders. He says, my cum sock can't take any more podcasts. You guys ever came in a sock?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Why?
What?
Desperation.
Desperation?
Yeah.
How are you supposed?
Yeah.
Have you?
I've used it to clean up. Who?
Just as a rag?
Yeah.
That I can understand more
Yeah.
so for some reason.
But like, what's the whole deal with the cum sock? Do you like put it on and then just jerk off with that?
No,
I
no,
feel like
no,
that's
him.
no,
Yeah,
no,
how's
no.
this work?
Well,
Explain this to
it's
me.
like it's like in the way that I've expressed the whole toilet paper condom theory. Like you get your toilet paper, you stuff like your finger in it to have it be like a receptacle, and then you go until you're about to you pop the cork, and then over it, and then easy cleanup, easy fucking flush it down the toilet, you're good. I was out of toilet paper.
Kia ora, bro. Welcome back to the Misfits podcast, bringing you a Spotify. I can't do this voice. I'm not.
Kid, that was neat, all right.
Kia ora, guys. How you going?
Tin of cocoa,
What's
tin of
up,
cocoa,
guys?
tin of cocoa, car door. I'm kidding.
If you're confused, guys, welcome back to our Spotify exclusive episode with the 3 New Zealanders of the
True.
Misfits. It's myself. It's Toby.
Yeah. We are the Pakeha, as you might say.
True, half cast right here.
Yeah, and we also have Jay, aka McCreamy, here.
Kia ora koutou katoa.
Okay, this is
which-
epic. We're going to
wh-
do
what is
a
that?
45-minute haka today. So,
Today we're going to talk about growing up in New Zealand and hopefully enlighten you guys, if you're not from here, on a bit of New Zealand culture. Jay, would you like to translate what you just said and what language that's in? Like what you just said.
I said hello. I'm pretty sure I said hello, everyone. How are you? In Māori. Could be
Today,
wrong.
Say
In
it
Te Reo
again,
Māori.
Say it again.
Kia ora koutou katoa.
Oh, very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
So yeah, wait, and you have like some Maori blood in you, don't you?
Yes.
Right?
yeah, he drank it.
He drank it.
I
How much
drank
is
the
it? Like a
blood.
quarter or something? You like a quarter?
Yeah, around about a quarter-ish, a third.
Right. So you're not 100% Pakeha. which
No, not
means
100%.
White man.
Not 100%
White man.
white man. Nah. Yeah, a little bit of Māori in me.
Yeah.
To people who are confused, we have talked about this on the podcast before, but the Maori people are the indigenous people of New Zealand. And New Zealand, the culture is like pretty intertwined. Like Maori culture is very prominent in New Zealand and kind of
Yeah.
embraced quite a lot,
Yep.
at least in a lot of regards. Definitely a bit of cheeky racism in the past,
Oh, just a little. Just
You
a
know how
little.
it
maybe
Yeah.
is.
maybe even just a little bit to this day. Like there's always a
Yeah.
bit,
There's a bit of a
couple
thing that happens.
ignorant
Yeah.
people, I guess. But by and large, Maori culture is like really embraced in New Zealand, and it's pretty harmonious, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
we grew up, all of us, I'm sure, in school, learning about Maori culture, learning the language a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
learning
Yeah.
hakas, as Toby mentioned
Yes.
earlier,
Yes.
which is
Hakas.
Haka.
which is, I guess is what, like a war dance, but also kind of a dance just for like respect in general, right? Like people would
Yeah.
perform a
Mm.
haka at a funeral, or would you do it at a wedding? I don't know. Like what
Yeah,
other
you would.
applications
you
are
would.
there?
Yeah.
It's just a
Just kind of like an
respectful thing.
emotional, like I don't even know if it should be called a dance. It's kind of just choreography and a chant almost. It's like a very
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool thing. Our
Yeah,
rugby team,
if
the
you're a
All
rugby
Blacks-
fan, you'll know what it is. Yeah.
yeah, our rugby team, the All Blacks, does a haka before every game to like, which is like a war haka to like intimidate the enemy and
Yeah.
Yeah.
also show respect. I think.
'Cause that's what they used to do
Um,
back in the day. Like back in the old times.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just to scare
Kinda
their enemies.
crazy. yeah. I can remember at school like just being white as fuck, like
I mean,
doing the old kamate kora, fucking slapping
Yep.
my wrists, just it was fun, bro. I like doing the huckers. It was
Yeah, dude,
it's
it was
powerful.
sick.
You're surrounded by like everyone else at the school. You're all doing this like choreography, this powerful dance. It's fun
Yep.
as fuck.
and you're included even if you're whiter than sour cream. So like it works out. Like it's a really fun experience.
Get in here,
Yeah.
Ronald. Come on, mate.
Literally, dude.
Let's do a haka.
It's how it is. Like you don't want to do it as a kid, but then once you do it, it's like, oh yeah, look at me.
Yeah, this is
included.
kind of epic.
This is sick.
Oh, cool. Yeah. New Zealand. Growing up in New Zealand was fun. I really miss it. Moving
Yeah.
here to Australia, there's a lot of like, it's a very like relaxed, laid back place.
Yeah.
The people are pretty chill. The culture in general, I feel, is like very casual. I don't know. It's dope. I can't wait to go back. You're there right now, aren't you, Toby?
Currently, yes.
I mean, you probably don't really notice much difference right now because of the coronavirus between like living there and here. But has there been any like, I guess difference heading home and staying at home for a while back in the motherland from moving to Australia?
I mean, not particularly, just because of how much time I spend in my house and because it's been locked down for a lot of my trip. But like I do still love New Zealand. I don't know if I like where I'll end up eventually, but I could totally see myself settling down back in New Zealand eventually.
Yeah, for sure. There's just something about it. And Jay, you grew up in Rotorua, right?
No, dude. I grew up I was born in Rotorua. I grew up in like a little town called Murupara, which is like it's home to me. It's like this tiny little town, probably population of about 50. And
oh my god,
it's the most wholesome place. Like,
right.
It was amazing.
Nice.
That's
so
where I
do you
grew
go
up.
back and visit that place very often?
Yeah, my grandparents. Well, yeah, half my grandparents live there. So
half your grandparents. What does
just
that mean?
Like half of them.
Or like just half of them physically, or
yeah,
like,
half of them physically. Like the top half in Murupara and the other half in like Rotorua.
Yeah, so there's like a county dividing line.
Yeah.
The house is on the line, and at any given moment, half of the body is on one line.
Yeah,
and the other half is in the other one. So they're actually in two different places at once.
Yeah.
So is it like every Christmas you're like, oh, should we invite Grandma's torso to Christmas dinner?
That's usually how it works.
Legs? Because you can't have the legs and the torso in the same room because they just argue and bicker the whole time, right?
Literally, that's just the unfortunate reality of it.
A new moment in wireless has begun. T-Mobile and Sprint are joining forces, bringing together their two networks.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of places in New Zealand are named after Maori language, or they were Maori places originally, so they've just kept the name. It's cool, man. New Zealand has so many beautiful, there's so much beautiful land that is just not occupied by bullshit.
It's crazy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, just like beautiful open fields, farms, fuck tons of sheep.
Yeah,
mountains,
fuck tons of
forests.
sheep. Like
heaps of conservation areas and stuff.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, some of my best memories growing up in New Zealand were doing tramps, is what we call them. But I guess Americans might call them
I love
hikes.
doing a tramp.
Loving a tramp. The tramp, I don't know why they're called tramps. I'm not sure if that's just a New Zealand term. But
tramping might... Surely that's not just a New Zealand thing. Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Hiking?
Either that or it's European. It's like a hike. Yeah, it's like just basically a long walk where you have a pack and you have a trail that you're following. You know,
Right.
normally
Yeah.
it's a 3-day trip. You're walking about 10Ks a day on some of the more serious ones with a pack on your back just through like beautiful scenery. Insane. And like every night you'll kind of get to these huts, or some people camp in tents, but me, I'm privileged. I stayed in huts.
Privileged alpha male.
Privileged alpha male stayed in the hut, which is like a little wooden lodge basically. And normally there's a bunch of other families or couples or just individuals doing the tramps as well. And you'll see them in the evening at these lodges. So it's kind of this weird thing where like you're with your family or you're with whoever you're with, you're tramping through beautiful scenery, and then every night you kind of have this little communal space with these other people that you're hanging out with. You're sharing stories like, oh, how'd you guys meet? Like, what's your story? And then you go to bed and you wake up bright and early and you pack all your shit back into your heavy as fuck backpack, and you just trek along.
Keep on strolling.
Exactly. And man, like, I definitely complained a bit as a kid, I think, because like, walking for 10 kilometers a day is kind of hard. But looking back, what a cool experience. I actually really have been fiending to go on another one as a grown man.
100%.
Maybe with a couple of the bros.
Exactly.
Maybe take a few mushrooms out on the bush, just like
maybe
just
get lost, fall down a like hill.
Yeah, start making out. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
something like that. Something like that. Could be hot and horny. You never know. Like
you never know. Like mysterious things happen in the bush.
Absolutely,
mysterious things happen. You might find a part of yourself you never knew existed. Toby actually did not know she was trans.
Look,
until she fell down a mountain.
Kind of sounds like fits. It kind of sounds like you do know it exists. Kind of sounds like you're pushing something onto us here.
Some kind of
agenda.
agenda.
You just never know. Like, I don't know if it exists. I just feel like like it definitely exists, but it doesn't. Like, I'm not gay. I just feel like maybe something could happen there. I don't know. Like,
You never
But
know.
maybe 100% guaranteed would happen. Maybe I don't know. Like
yeah, like
who
literally,
knows?
I've been in lockdown for 3 months now. I would suck a cock. I would do it.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
That's
No.
crazy. Dude, I don't know if I'd call it like the best experience, because at the time it was like dog shit and I hated every second of it. But and we used to, back in like the early days of high school, so I don't know fucking how old I was, like 13. We went on like a school camp as like when you're fresh into, it's like an initiation into a fucking high school, I guess, because I went to an all boys school and like they had this initiation thing where you go to a camp. Anyways, one of the things we had to do was we had to make a bivouac. Do you guys know what that is?
A bivouac.
Yeah,
it's like a little hut, right?
Yeah, made out of like natural, like just the shit in the forest,
sticks and shit.
So we had to make our own fucking hut and sleep in it. And
oh my god,
yeah, it was the worst because it's so uncomfortable. You're sleeping on the ground, like out in this forest where it's just like the only cover you've got on your head is like ferns, like leaves and stuff like that. It's absolute hell. It's cold, raining, like you're getting damp and shit because of the mud on the ground, and you had to sleep the entire night. And I think the worst part about it wasn't the fact that we were like sleeping in a tent on the ground in the cold, in the rain, at night. The worst part was that there was a fucking spider in it.
Ooh.
And like the bugs
in your
and shit,
bivouac.
like, yeah, the paranoia of like the bugs was way worse than anything else.
I also want to point out New Zealand has no natural predators, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So it was probably
we have one. We have
probably a
one
bunny
poisonous
rabbit.
spider. We have the redback spider. What's it
Redbacks,
called
yeah.
in what's the word? The Maori word for redback? It's like a fucking. It has a word, right? I want to say like kakapo. No, am I wrong?
Look it up.
No, that's a bird.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm
that is
sorry.
a native bird.
At the end of the day, I'm just a simple white man. Okay.
A cutty.
Catapo? Catapo, yeah, Catapo spider. That's what it's called. Redback, big beast.
Wait, are those the freaking Black Widows?
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
a black
What?
widow.
Wait, we have Black Widows? Monkey
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah, very rare in New Zealand, but we do have them. So, and I actually have a story.
God.
We found one in our mailbox growing up.
Ah.
So basically, growing up, we had this kind of brick entrance to our house at the bottom of a long driveway, and there's like these really old school like metal mailboxes built into the bricks. And I would often like just walk down there to the street, kind of just sit on the wall, just like hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was having a geeze at the mailbox, just kind of like sussing it out. And at the bottom of it, there's this big fucking redback spider, dude. I freaked the fuck out. These things look terrifying because they got that big bulbous ass
with
on
the
them.
really
They
thin
kinda
legs.
thick, dude. They kind of
really
thick.
thin, spindly legs, thick as hell.
Thick as
and
fuck,
they just like
man.
they had a menacing red streak down the back. I freaked out, dude. I ran away.
Shit.
And another funny story about that mailbox, now that I think about it, as kids we used to, this is terrible, like no one should ever do this, but we used to get water balloons and throw them at cars as they went past.
You didn't.
Yeah, we actually did the same thing, and eventually at some point it escalated to throwing cans.
Oh my
Like
god!
full cans.
Cans,
Not
as
at the
if.
cars, but like you throw it
fuck?
right before the car so that
Full
it would
cans.
explode right before they could have hit it. And then,
Right.
it was just
Jesus.
to give people a fright. But then one time someone got out of the car and
Big
came up to
shit
the
out of
house
us.
and we just ran the fuck away.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, that's what us. We were throwing water balloons at these cars, and most of them just kind of took it and just kept driving like little bitches. And then one guy, like we hit him like right in the windshield, and he screeched to like a stop.
Mhm.
I thought
And
he
we
screeched
just-
like he screeched.
It was out the window. No, he's like screeched his brakes on. He came to a complete stop. I was with a few family friends, and we just like
Ooh.
gapped it up the driveway as fast as we could. It was a really long hill driveway. We were sprinting up. We like hiding in the bush, and we just see the car slowly creeping up the driveway.
No
We're
way.
like, oh no, we're fucked. We're fucked. This guy's gonna tell on us. And this guy like gets to the top of the drive. He gets out. He's like literally got his hands bunched into fists. He's so angry.
What the fuck?
As he should be, like it's definitely unsafe to have water balloons thrown at you. Not that it was a busy road or anything,
Yeah.
but definitely still, uncalled for. And he just kind of storms up the stairs and knocks on the door, and my mum answers, and he just goes off at her like, "You're a fucking kids throwing fucking water balloon, you know, like really yelling at my mom, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Eventually there was just nothing really left to be said. We were just made to apologize to him, which was terrible. And I never threw a water balloon at a car again. So
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
You learned your lesson there.
exactly.
That's fair.
What the fuck? Why do people he's a grown man though? Like, why did you have to do that? Like,
I don't know.
it's a water balloon.
Toby
You
has
fucking bitch.
Toby has a baby in the
Yeah,
back
sorry,
now.
I'll mute.
Toby, I didn't realize that you're pregnant. That's actually really interesting. Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and we're not pregnant anymore.
Well, you
obviously.
were pregnant.
Yeah,
yeah
I
mean,
was.
at the
That's why I
thing.
went to New Zealand. To give
Right. That's
birth.
actually the reason for your absence is just you being in labor. Wow.
Congratulations.
It's something.
How's motherhood?
Well, it's getting lots of likes. That's the main reason for it. So,
right.
you know.
Just Instagram baby, is it?
Yeah, Instagram baby. I'm gonna make one YouTube video on it, and then I might put it up for adoption. We'll see.
Family on the telly.
Used up babies. Get rid of the thing. It'll stop being cute in a couple months. Get rid of it.
Yeah. No need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
That's
need
how
it
it is.
anymore.
Yeah. Well, any
Growing
other?
Growing up in New Zealand was like cool because I mean I'm sure that there's heaps of people that can relate to this in other places. But like I remember doing things like just you'd be in the city and then you go, oh, let's go to the forest. You'd be in the middle of this big hustling, this big city, and then you decide to just go for a stroll, end up in a forest, and just kind of have little adventures in the forest. It was sick because New Zealand, like most cities in New Zealand, just have these areas that are just big, untouched forests and stuff.
Yeah.
In the middle of their
sick.
cities, it's so cool.
Yeah, massive public parks, big old
Like
trees.
reserves and stuff. It's really nice.
It's beautiful.
That is so cool.
It's an
Yeah,
absolute
that's
piece
when
of
you
art.
really
So much
notice
doing that.
when you go to a place like LA. It's just like it's just buildings everywhere.
No
they have
green
parks and
anywhere.
shit.
man. Like,
That is so. Even in Australia, it's a different vibe. Australia's is like quite a lot hotter, so a lot of the grass is more yellowy.
Yeah.
The trees are kind of a bit more dead looking. Australia's still got beautiful parks and everything. Like Melbourne's pretty fucking sick, but I think that's because it's like much lower down. But there's just nothing that beats New Zealand in terms of just feeling like the city is just kind of connected to nature at all times.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. Lots of beaches. Fucking
Lots
islands.
of bitches, lots of beaches.
Lots of lovely white beaches.
Sandy beaches.
yeah.
Have you ever been to Piha?
Yeah.
Black
yes, I
sand?
have.
Oh, no. I
Yes,
haven't.
I have been to Piha.
Yeah.
That's up north, right?
Yeah. It's really
it's like a-
cool. It's just like this really nice. It's actually like, I'm pretty sure it's like a world-renowned surfing beach because it's got like really hectic waves and stuff, but it's like got black sand, which is so cool.
That's actually
Yeah, it's
mad.
hot as fuck though. Black sand. Have you ever tried to like just walking
Oh,
slowly
that makes
on
so
it?
much sense. Yeah, it would be.
Oh, yeah,
It
because
absorbs
black
all the
attracts
heat.
sun. Yeah.
That's right. And you just fucking literally get blisters if you stand still for too long. on a
Really?
hot
Holy
day.
shit, that's crazy.
Are you guys boogie boarders or surfers, or do you do
Boogie
neither?
board, 100%.
Boogie board.
Like, boogie board,
100%
getting the
boogie board.
rashes from the sand on like your stomach and shit. Like, fuck. That was sore ass.
Yeah. I love that
Boogie
shit.
boarding's the
Running
best.
out, chasing the waves, and then just on your stomach,
Yeah.
getting thrown back onto the sand.
Yeah. Did you guys ever do body surfing or whatever?
Nah,
Yeah.
Bodyboarding?
I didn't know what that is.
I tried to. My grandpa used to do it all the time. I literally never understood it. This man would just glide on the sea like fucking Poseidon himself. I'm like trying to body surf, and like I just get tumbled in the wave like immediately. I just get fucking crushed up and spit out by the sea.
How the
I
fuck
never
does he
understood
do
how
that?
to do it. I don't know, bro. He's fucking just connected to the ocean, bro. He's actually just one with the water.
What?
Fucking Mr. Miyagi
Baron
of New
of the
Zealand.
sea.
Mr. Miyagi of New Zealand.
He's like, kia ora, bro. I'll
Kia ora,
teach you how to
G.
body surf, bro.
Wax on, wax off, G.
Wax on, wax off. Yeah. Fucking fish and chips. How about that?
Yeah, fish and chips, bro. Let's go.
Really just trying to reach for content from New Zealand when
Fucking
it's just
Yeah,
so
I really
chill.
thought New Zealand would have more to talk about.
Yeah, speaking of that thought though, I feel like it's kind of like it's beautiful and shit there, but I feel like it'd be really depressing.
Kind of nothing to do.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people would get like really depressed just living there because it's so isolated from everything. Like, you know,
It depends. I feel like it's a great place to settle down if you have like a nice
Yeah.
solid family, you know. But if you're like a young person just looking to like, yeah, I don't know, you definitely might get bored. I guess because I don't know. Wellington's a pretty good city. Wellington's like a nice big like young city. There's kind of lots to do.
It's windy as there, right?
Yeah, I would much rather be living in Melbourne as a young guy, right now. And maybe go back when I'm older, or maybe have like a nice little spot there, a little place to
I would love
retreat
to live in Queenstown.
Oh, Queenstown's like tourist capital of New Zealand. There's ski and
it's
there's
like
mountains.
ski resorts, gorgeous like rivers and stuff. It's just like nice. It's like what you'd expect of like a natural getaway with like hikes and skiing and snowboarding and all that shit, bungee jumping.
Yeah.
But also a city right next to it.
I went there for the first time last year. It was like beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, did you guys ever do luging as kids?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a luge where I used to live, bro. It was sick as.
Is luge actually like an international term? It's basically like a fucking...
It's a little fucking cart with wheels on the bottom that you have no control over, basically.
Just go down this track, like on a cart lying down, and just fucking send it, like just down concrete.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's actually
But
insane.
like, I distinctly remember it seeming really dangerous. But I don't think it would have been. Like, I distinctly remember like seeing walls, corners that if you went off the side, you would just be like rolling down a hill, because it always took place on the side of like a big mountain.
Yeah, I think there's memory too of it just being on the precipice of a cliff.
Yeah, but they must have been safe, because like otherwise it would just be illegal, surely.
Yeah, I think it's just my childish imagination remembering how dangerous it was. But yeah, I think you also have brakes on it technically, so you can slow down and shit.
Yeah, but they do let children on it by themselves.
Yeah, true.
I do remember it being sick though, and like it was almost always up you go on those gondolas up the mountain, and then back down on the luge.
It's so pog. There's so many pog little things like that you can do.
Yeah, like bungee jumping. Have you guys ever done that?
No,
have you?
Never will. But it looks fucking sick.
I was fucking hoping one of you guys had.
No,
what I've heard about bungee jumping is that it's almost like skydiving, except that it's over really quick and it's way less comfortable, like way more uncomfortable. Because you got the band connected to your feet, so imagine when you hit the bottom, like you just kind of get pulled back up really aggressively, but I'm sure it's really cool.
Well, it can't be that aggressive because, like, don't you you slow down, right? Because it's a bungee, so it kind of like it's elastic, so you go like slow and then you get
it'll be like perfectly safe, but apparently you definitely notice it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's tons of weird hectic shit like that. There's like this weird swing that goes over a massive drop that you get strapped into, and you just swing out off a cliff.
I think
that's pretty
close
fucked.
To Rotorua. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you reckon?
Where I used to live. Yeah, it's so fucking sick. I don't know if I could ever see myself just throwing myself like off a cliff though. Like even if I've got
Have
a
you
bungee.
skydived, Jay?
No, and I don't.
Would you do it?
Maybe like later on in life when
Fitz
I'm
and I have
less
done
of a
it.
fucking
It's pretty
pussy.
cool.
But like that sounds so unbelievably scary. It's insane.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I was kind of shitting it on my way up in the plane.
Yeah.
But we were doing hours on a really cold day. And it was also very cloudy.
Yeah, wasn't it like insanely dangerous?
Yeah, Fitz's seemed so sketch when I think back at it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, apparently it was like the conditions were just barely good enough.
Fuck that, man.
We waited
when I
around,
did
like,
it, it was like
3
perfect
hours.
skies.
Yeah. So like, not only was it dangerous, but it was also less enjoyable because it was cloudy and I didn't get like as good of a view. The first like 10 to 20 seconds of free fall were just through clouds, which was terrifying because you couldn't see anything.
Oh, fuck that.
And it's just cold air just pushing up like into your lungs. I couldn't breathe unless I really tilted my head to the side and like I was gasping, but from pure like adrenaline and just air coming at me. And moisture.
So you were with someone, right, who pulls the chute for you and stuff?
Yeah. You can't do it on your own without getting like a proper license. You have to do like a bunch of jumps. Which is what our friend did, which is just insane to me. Like that sounds so scary.
Yeah, he just travels the world and skydives everywhere he goes. It's sick.
It's like up to you to be able to pull your chute and like pack it properly and all that shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I would not trust myself to do that.
It sounds so sick though once you get into it, but because it's kind of lame having a guy on your back. It's like a little less
it's kind of a bit sus.
It's kind of cringe. Like he kind of was touching me and shit. It was weird. Plus, you get a massive.
Hey, you got a great back.
You're strong, bro. You lift.
Nice triceps.
Just like hitting on you as you're going down. Literally strapped to the guy.
Bro. And then if you just say no, he just drops you.
Oh my god.
It's like the ultimate power play. It's like you can't say no because of the implication, right? Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
this is. It's
you can't say no when you're skydiving. It's the
Freaking
perfect
hell.
rape. Really, when you think about it, just in the air, airborne.
You literally can't do anything about it.
I wonder how many
Unfortunately,
people pussy out in the plane.
I would.
Probably a few.
Nah,
I was
yeah.
definitely like, dude, in the plane's monk ass because it was a tiny little thing. You're rattling up there. It was a cloudy ass day, and I just felt like I was in the military, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's exactly how I like picture it. It's like go, go, go,
Yeah.
go.
yeah.
They just
like
like
goes green.
you- they'll just be flying through the air and then they go, all right, and then they'll just open the door.
Yeah,
Oh,
open this
what
little
the
door.
fuck?
So weird.
It's like a garage, like side shutter thing.
Yeah.
And then
I
he's
was, like,
all right, sit
hanging
with your
off the
legs hanging off
side.
the edge. Yeah, you got to hang off the
Yeah.
side for a bit. And he's like, okay, on 3, I'm just going to lean forward. You're going to lean forward with me, and we're just going to drop. And I was like, okay, this is it. We're so high
Oh
up.
my
I guess we're just going to go
God.
out. And and then I felt like an odd calm come over me. I was like, oh, if I die, like, whatever. Like,
Holy shit!
I've had a pretty good run. Like, this is a pretty sick way to go anyway. So I'm just going to try and enjoy this. Just let go. And then I just lean forward, and then it was just like, that's all you hear is and then it was just like you're through the cloud, a few more seconds of free fall, and then you feel like a tug, and then all of a sudden you're gliding, and then you're like really just get to enjoy the view. Basically,
It's just like
You're
real
"Oh my
chill.
God."
Yeah, I can imagine that part
Yeah.
would actually be good.
To
Yeah,
be
that's
honest,
pretty
like
sick.
when you jump out, there's like a few seconds of picking up speed, and that bit is scary and sketchy. But then once you've kind of reached that like terminal velocity, you're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
pretty much.
You just get
That's the
used to
worst
it
it
really
gets.
quick, and it's just cool.
And then there's like a bit more of like alarm at the end when you're approaching the ground rapidly, and you're like, oh man, am I gonna break my fucking legs? Like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ground's coming at you quick. He's like, just lift your legs up.
Land on
Yeah,
your
they're like
ass.
really clear. They're like, just make sure that when you go to the ground, your legs are up. And then
Yeah.
you're thinking about it, like, what if I don't put my legs up the right way and I break them and
Yeah,
destroy my
snap.
kneecaps?
You just disabled Andy for the rest of your life.
Holy
Fucking
shit.
divorced from your lower half, like
yeah,
these grandparents.
that's how it was done.
Skydiving
It was a skydiving
accident.
accident.
Dude, imagine if you could just disconnect from your fucking lower half and just, just pop it off like it's a docking station and then just walk on your hands and your legs just go off and do their own thing. Like, you'd be so much more productive.
Would
you know?
you?
Yeah, because like, you could
You
just be like, all right, I'm just going to disconnect from my legs. Then you'll like lift your torso up to the sink, do the dishes maybe. The legs are like around, like doing some other shit.
Okay, but what are the legs going to be able to do, though? That's the
like
thing.
walking the dog maybe or something.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Damn, yeah,
And maybe you could
multitasking.
like set up an attachment to hook the vacuum cleaner up so
Yeah.
that legs could walk around vacuuming and it'd be like a Roomba.
Holy shit.
It'd be all kinds of applications for it. That's right.
All right,
Maybe
all
you
right.
could like
I understand this now. This is a good business idea.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. You should look into this.
Get like
And,
a
maybe you can like
wireless
like,
charging.
yeah, just charge up your torso while your legs go and run some errands.
Sure. I mean, all you'd need is a nice mounting bracket and an extension cord for your intestines.
A new moment in wireless has begun. T-Mobile and Sprint are joining forces. Bringing together their two networks, T-Mobile will build America. Bringing together their two networks.
You can have a turn fucking you.
Oh god! How did we get
Yeah,
here?
it's like you're a girlfriend from the legs down, and and you've just got like a vagina all of a sudden, and then yeah, it's your girlfriend on your legs with a penis having sex.
I mean, would your legs be sentient?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
would
Like when you separate, does your leg know what it's doing, or are you controlling it?
I don't
That's the
know. Like,
thing.
maybe like you're actually in a relationship with your legs, and your legs have a mind of their own. It's like two separate people, but you just kind of coexist. So you're actually in a relationship with your lower half.
Do you need a
maybe,
ring?
Maybe your better half, if you think about it. You need a ring? I mean, only
You
if
can
you
get
want
one of
to
those little toe rings
little toe rings.
or a
you
little
could actually-
anklet.
Everyone is actually born as either a leg or a torso, and you just have to find your partner early on.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
some people go their whole life just being a torso, just kind of crawling around. like,
Yeah.
struggling.
sounds like
find
a
their
fucked up
other half.
movie.
Trying to find their other half, and they just can't find it.
Literally the other half. Wow.
Literally.
It's like that dude
Yeah.
from Toy Story, the one with the like, I don't know.
What?
Well, I've just
Mr.
had a
Potato
thought,
Head.
though.
I can't remember what it is. He's got a jacked body and like a duck head or some shit.
Oh yeah, I don't.
If you got put on house arrest, you could just leave your legs at home, and they wouldn't know you left the house.
Oh
you got the ankle
shit!
bracelet on.
200 IQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, torso could still commit crimes. I mean, I'm sure that in this new
It'd be-
society,
It'd be a
would
struggle,
have a-
but yeah.
What? How do you reckon
Yeah.
you'd walk? Would you walk like with your hands to your side, or would you do like a handstand type of thing?
Oh,
I mean, probably
hands
his
to my
hands to your
side.
side. Yeah.
Yeah,
With your
'cause it'd
hands.
be easy to see what you're doing.
Everyone
There
would be
was
super
this-
jacked because of that.
There was
so.
this guy in Auckland that he had something wrong with his legs, and he would walk around the city with his on his hands. Every now and again, he'd be on a skateboard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's actually a thing that's kind of existed throughout history for a while. There's historical records of just torso people,
Yeah.
No leg people.
as we
yet,
call
though.
them, the torso people.
It's
from a distinguished
he's
tribe.
just a torso, but there's cats that want to kill him.
He's just. It's just a.
He rides
story.
around in his hamster ball.
Rides around on a skateboard, escaping local tomcats, chasing
Jeez.
after him.
Fucking
Torso
hell.
guy.
I'm so grateful I've got legs and a torso.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Person in a wheelchair
nipples.
is listening to this tearing up right now. Just like actually shedding a single tear.
No, I'm just great.
I wonder if anyone doesn't have nipples.
I mean,
Not a
surely,
single
right?
nipple.
Yo, you see that guy on Reddit that got born with 2 dicks?
Oh
No,
god. are we
no,
really
but I
talking
think
about
I
this?
think we've talked about this before.
Oh, we have. And I'm pretty sure I
Yeah,
showed you a
I've
picture
seen-
of it.
Yeah, you did on
Yeah,
the
we've
podcast. You
seen-
showed your. Oh yeah.
We've seen the two cock lord.
Yeah.
Ugh,
What a
fuck.
legend. 2
Both
cocks.
of them
Gross.
are usable. That's
But
just-
Imagine if
crazy.
he was trans. It'd be twice the problem.
we can have the best of
Double
both
the
worlds. He could get one turned into a pussy and then just have the other one.
Oh,
like,
true.
chill. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Damn, that's genius.
To answer your question about having no nipples, Toby, it's actually a condition called athelia.
Oh really?
And it's very rare, but it's actually. I'm just reading an article here. I don't know this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's called
more
Barbie doll
common
syndrome.
in children who are born with conditions such as Poland syndrome, which
That's
I'm now
people that are
Googling.
born in Poland.
No, it just means that they're born with missing or underdeveloped muscles on one side of the body, resulting in
Ah.
abnormalities that can affect the chest. So yeah, it's like a strange physical disease, I guess.
That is
but-
interesting.
But yeah,
That's really interesting because you know how people like sexualize nipples. What if you didn't have nipples? Does that mean that you could not wear a shirt on Twitch?
Oh,
maybe. I mean, I've
Maybe
just looked
that's
up
what that
images of
works.
people with no nipples, and these people just look pretty normal, just with 0 nipples. You know,
That would be like looking at a car that didn't have a badge on it.
they have a what? A badge?
badge.
A badge, like a manufacturer badge. You know, like the Toyota
Oh.
symbol or whatever.
Oh right, I guess. Yeah.
True.
They always look
Uh,
really, or without a number plate. If they don't have a number plate, they always look naked. It's like,
Yeah,
why
'cause
does that?
Your nipples kind of are your number plate. You know, that's where your registration's from. You only really know a person until you like pop their nipple in your mouth, I reckon.
Yeah, the police actually, you know how they take fingerprints?
Yeah.
They only do that because they're not allowed to do nipples anymore because it makes it too easy for the cops to find you.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, and the
Jesus.
government was kind of like, well, you know, we got to give them a chance. Did you know that in Mexico it's not illegal to break out of prison?
That's
What?
why Al Chapo did it.
So like you can, so they believe in like they believe in the
Siestas.
right to freedom or the right to seek freedom. So
What?
so you are legally allowed to break out of prison. You still, like, if you get caught, you've still done the previous crime, so you still get taken back to prison.
Wait,
But you don't get an increased sentence for breaking out of prison as long as you don't break any crimes while you're out.
Wait, that means that all these stories of cunts breaking out with spoons and shit, like the guards are just watching them, being like, "Oh well, we can't."
Well, no,
can't do
the
anything
guards
about
will
this.
still they can still stop you. But all I'm saying is you don't get an increased sentence for breaking out,
What
which
the
means there's
fuck?
not really any downside to trying to break out of prison, and it's a few countries that have that.
Oh my god, that's
It's kinda
dumb, but it's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking epic. I mean, yeah. Imagine if America had the same thing. That'd be.
Well, there was a guy who broke out of a Mexican prison and managed to sneak through the border back into America and once he was in America, the Mexican police couldn't do anything to get him.
What the
Because
frick?
he's back on.
And he hadn't broken
America?
any laws doing that.
Yeah,
That's
because unfortunately
crazy.
they have this rule where you can just walk out of a prison.
Why is that a thing? Like, what is it? Like, what does that do? Like, the freedom thing. If they had a right to freedom, they wouldn't chuck them in jail. I feel
Yeah, it's weird. I don't fucking know.
dummies, dude. Come on.
Prison is a very strange industry in general because it's doesn't really work very well. Like prison,
Oh no.
Oh god, I have
You know?
no idea. Like,
it's such a strange concept. Like, okay, I mean, it's a very archaic in a way. It's like, okay, you did something bad, we're just gonna put you away.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about you anymore because you might be dangerous or you might break the law again. But a lot of people go to prison for things that aren't very dangerous, and they go there for life. Or
well, I mean, when I was in there, I was like, it was, I found God and stuff and came out a better man. So,
true, man. Well, you're actually blessed.
yeah,
Thankfully, you found a way to squeeze through the bars with just your torso.
yeah, absolutely. I left my legs. My legs are
Genius.
currently still in prison.
Yeah,
Still
so they
doing
don't
time.
actually know that you've left.
Yeah.
Your legs and ass are still just getting molested in the showers of prison.
That's fucked. You're just in
You're
prison. You take off your legs. All right, you go do what you got to do, buddy.
Your legs just,
Your legs just
and
take one
ass
for
is
the
walking
team.
around. Dropping the soap every day.
Oh my god, that's fucked.
I just googled strange physical diseases because
Yeah.
I'm a psychopath, and there's this thing called
Mhm.
auto brewery syndrome.
Wait, what did you
Where?
say?
Yeah.
Auto brewery isn't like alcohol.
That's when your piss tastes like beer.
Mm.
Not exactly, Toby, but great guess. It's actually a rare condition where you can feel drunk or actually literally get drunk the same and intoxicated the same way you would after a few drinks or a lot of drinks.
Yeah.
While consuming nothing at all. So some people are just get drunk randomly, apparently.
What the
What
fuck?
the fuck?
That'd be kind of
And
lit.
That's wild.
it's due to an excess of a certain type of yeast, which I can't pronounce, in the gut. Which leads to a fermentation process that produces the effects of alcohol inside you. So you can actually just be a fucking drunk without drinking.
That is
Imagine
insane.
that.
Fuck,
No one's
that's
gonna believe you
crazy.
either. You'll just be acting
They're
like
just
an
gonna think
asshole
you're
all the
an
time,
alcoholic.
throwing your words about, yeah, sure you're not drinking. Like, oh, I'm not.
I'm literally not drunk, Karen.
I'm not drunk. Or
I
you
haven't
get a
been
breathalyzer
drinking.
test, go into the slammer for nothing at all. Yeah,
That's
it's kind of a
insane.
interesting one.
Yeah, there used to be a show about that sort of shit with people with the crazy medical conditions. Like that dude who's just hairy as fuck. Like, how does that
Oh
happen?
yeah.
And, like,
what's
the
it
man.
called?
And the dude who has like bark on him, he's like Tree Man or some shit.
Oh yeah, Groot.
Groot, yeah, fucking Vin Diesel. Fucking Vin Diesel playing Groot in the hit film fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Bro, how good is
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy? What a hit film.
What?
Absolutely phenomenal soundtrack for sure. Fucking
You know,
Tree Man.
I read about something kind of crazy this week.
Yeah.
You know American Airlines?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
In 1981, they had they were like going broke, right? Going bankrupt. So they introduced this thing to raise money called the Air Pass, where
Oh, I
you,
think
for
I heard about this.
$250,000,
Yeah.
you could buy an Air Pass, which was a lifetime ticket to fly anywhere in the world first class as much as you like.
Uh-huh.
And
There
they're
it
like
is.
250,000, that'll do it. And fast forward to now, and people were just like, "Oh, I want to go out for lunch. I'm gonna fly to Paris first class," and it's cost the company an estimated $80 million.
Wow.
Absolute idiots, dude. Like, what
Fucking
the
morons.
fuck?
That is so stupid.
And I think the most money that was spent by two people, because there were these two people who would just travel everywhere, and they cost a combined like $40 million or something. It's insane.
Wow. As if they cost that much. How would they possibly do that?
Well, because apparently what they would do is, and this was not against the rules, it was part of the service, they would book flights and then decide they didn't want to use them. And there was no repercussions for that, so they would just book flights and then go, I'm going to book this just because I might want to go to Paris that day, and then decide, actually, I don't want to go to Paris. And then that flight is not full, and there's
What
a
the
first class
fuck?
seat that's not being used,
Right.
which
And
then
they just
cost
don't
them like
tell
10 grand.
They just don't tell them to like. They don't even tell them period. So like every time these motherfuckers order a flight, everyone has to wait like 30 minutes because they're like, Mr. Jackass,
exactly.
please come to the gate immediately. Just not even intending to go at all.
Oh yeah,
fucking jerk. But yeah, that's a dumb policy.
It's crazy. It would have been so sick, but it's crazy.
I'm on this website, Medical News Today. I'm absolutely engrossed.
Love it.
I got clickbaited into another article at the bottom called 5 Strange Sleep Behaviors.
Okay.
And this
not
is
something
bullshit.
that would clickbait me, but that's fine.
I mean, they had a very enticing thumbnail, can I just say?
I see.
It was porn. No.
Okay, before you talk about these sleep behaviors, have either of you ever sleepwalked?
I sleepwalk, sleep talk a lot.
I have as a kid. Apparently, I woke up and I went downstairs and I was just like rummaging through pots in the kitchen, just rummaging through pots, making a loud noise.
Yeah,
yeah. I used to walk downstairs and stand in front of the TV, and the TV would be off.
No,
Yeah.
fuck off. That's some creepy horror.
No,
movie
I
shit.
used to do the same.
My
thing.
parents were telling me about it yesterday.
Yeah, I used
Wow.
to get up in like the middle of the night while my parents were still awake, and I used to go up and like just stare at them, and then they'd be like, "You're sleepwalking, sleep talking," and I would just be like, "No, I'm not." Like that's my thing because I still sleep talk to this day, and every time they're like, "You're sleep talking," I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like my thing is, I'm so convinced that I'm actually awake.
Wait, so you were saying no, I'm not in your sleep?
Yeah.
So you're actually having like an argument about the fact that you're sleepwalking while you're sleepwalking.
While I'm sleeping, I'm like, I'm not sleepwalking.
No, I'm going to work.
Like I
have a
literally
job.
argue with myself. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I do that a lot. That's such a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, sleepwalking's believable, but right here on Medical News Today, another one is sleep texting. And can I just say, this seems like bullshit because
I've done that before.
What?
Yeah, I DM'd someone on Twitter.
Okay, well,
was it embarrassing?
I've heard that humans like wake up in the middle of the night, but they'll be in a state where they're half asleep, half awake, and they will sometimes do things and then not remember it in the morning. So it's like a phenomena where people will like go to read their book one day, and they'll be like, "That's strange. I'm a chapter ahead than where I was last night, but I didn't read this."
That's crazy.
And it will just
to me
be
sometimes when I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, happens to me. But yeah, this one says, though no scientific studies have yet to be conducted to address the issue, apparently sleep texting is not uncommon, especially among adolescents. And then it says, like, one young woman told The Atlantic that she woke up one morning to find that she had made plans to see her ex-boyfriend, which she didn't remember and immediately regretted. I'm just wondering, like, is this just a bullshit excuse? Like, she just got drunk.
Yeah, or was she just drunk?
Oh, I was
yeah,
sleep
just like
texting,
drunk.
man.
It's like, hey, I miss you. And then she woke up. Oh, I did it in my sleep. I don't know. Like, see, I'm gonna tell The Atlantic about it. I'm so devout to this lie.
No, I've done that before. I've texted my parents while I was asleep. It's literally happened once, and I just woke up and didn't. It made no sense. Like there was no like pre-context or anything like that. It was just like a random message, and I didn't remember sending it at all. And I was like, what the fuck?
Did you send "I love you" to Pokimane? Be honest.
Yeah, that was it.
I actually signed my divorce papers in my sleep. It's a chronic issue I have.
That's crazy.
I'll just sign any contract you put on my bed when I'm asleep. I'll sign it.
Your wife was just like, babe, sign this. I was like, what? Okay. Sign the contract. So, yeah, it's
Gotcha,
back to sleep.
bitch.
Next morning, she's just gone. Like half of your possessions are gone. She's taking the kids. And you're like, what? I don't remember signing.
What the fuck?
That's fucked, man.
It says that the specialists blame it largely on the fact that many teenagers have poor sleep hygiene, having become glued to their smartphones, texting away late into the night and allowing notifications to disturb their slumber. So maybe it's like, you like the phone dings and it wakes you up like partially, and then you're like, oh, what?
What this is?
Start saying some crazy shit because you're dreaming.
Yeah, no, it's fucking weird. That whole concept.
The next one is sleep starts. Many of you are probably familiar with the phenomenon of sleep starts or hypnic jerks.
What? I hypnic
jerks.
jerk every night.
I love hypnic jerking, bro. Hypnic jerking, dude.
What the fuck does that mean?
I guess it just means like spasming. Like you just jerk awake, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, honey. Did I wake you?
Sorry.
It's just like muscle
honey, you were jerking off
contractions.
again. You're hypnic jerking.
Oh, sexual acts is the next one. Oh my god.
Oh, monkeys.
Unconscious acts performed during sleep are those of a sexual nature.
Yeah.
To involve an unwitting slow sleep, a co-sleeper. Jesus. Yeah, it's. I heard Bill Cosby use that excuse a couple of times.
I was asleep.
I mean, you were
I
asleep.
roofied her in my sleep.
And the last one is acting out dreams. So like you're having a dream and you just start doing whatever you're doing.
You just start standing up and doing like improv.
Yeah, start performing in a play.
Charades.
No, I mean, I guess that's why like people shit themselves in their sleep. Is because like you're dreaming about having to shit, and then you
What?
actually shit.
There's
Or
no way-
like I'm not saying that I've ever shit myself in my sleep. No, I've
Sounds a
never
lot
done
like
that.
you've shit yourself in
I
your sleep.
actually haven't, so it's funny you bring that up, but whatever. I've definitely pissed myself in my sleep. Though. I've shit myself walking home from school once. I'll tell you that much.
Really?
I just really had to go. I just really
No
actually had to go that bad.
No.
And, like, I was holding it in like right after school, but I was like, I can hold it. And my school bus ride was like 40 minutes.
Oh shit.
So by the end of it, I was busted. And then from the bus stop, I had another 20-minute walk to my house.
Oh,
Yikes.
dude, have you
yeah,
guys like
uphills and
walked
shit.
home from school and like you really need to piss, but like when you get closer to your house, it's just unbearable. Like that's when it's worse. Like when you see it in
Yeah.
distance, you're like, fuck, and it's like really bad.
Yeah.
That's like the
of course.
worst
With a
part.
piss, I'd probably just relieve myself in a bush or something if it was that bad. But this is a shit, my man. And
I
literally, I
shit
just-
myself.
Like it wasn't like a lot. It was just like a big. I just couldn't physically. You know what I mean? Like it just happened.
Turtle heading.
Turtle
Yeah,
heading,
and
but the
then-
turtle head popped out.
I was just so embarrassed. I just got home and just cleaned up and fucking threw that pair of underwear away. It's probably
That's
not the
crazy.
best story in the world, but hey, it happens. You know, to anyone out there who's done the same, like you're not alone. Like it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I used to pee in a sink in university, and I shit myself walking home from school. Hi, I'm Fitz.
New
These
Tinder
things
bio.
are common human issues, and we're here to talk about them. You know,
That's a great Tinder bio.
Pissed in a sink and shit myself.
normalize shitting yourself on the way home from school. Okay, normalize.
I
it.
full think like if you actually need to shit yourself, like you should just shit yourself. Like it shouldn't be frowned upon, I reckon.
Yeah, like don't be so
Yeah.
hard on yourself. Just like do what you got to do.
Just like
Stop
what,
putting
like-
others ahead of yourself.
Like
you
what
know?
if you like
your
actually
life.
need to and you're like on a bus, but like I reckon you should just shit yourself. Like fuck it. Like you've got to put your needs before others.
True, dude. True.
if you
Like,
need
it's
to
not even
shit,
that
like-
bad. Having like a sensation of shit in your pants, like it's not even that bad. It's actually so bad, it's disgusting. But
Fuck. Nah, this is yuck ass. Let's move on.
Yeah, what has this devolved into?
Yeah, New Zealand, by the way, is top 10
New
travel
Zealand.
destinations in New Zealand.
Top 10
Yeah.
travel destinations to shit yourself.
it's actually such a chill place to shit yourself if you're keen. Like it's actually pretty relaxed. Like everyone's like, oh, bro, he shit himself. You know, it's about what
The
you
brother
get.
shit
Like,
himself.
you shit yourself in America, you'll probably be bullied on social media for months, but no one in New
Get
Zealand.
cancelled.
Yeah, no, they're chill. Yeah, I mean,
Shit myself once.
we spontaneously threw this group together for the Spotify exclusive because we're like, oh, we're all from New Zealand. Like, surely we'll have a bunch of New Zealand stuff to talk about. But in reality, the country's actually so chilled that there's not that much to talk about, is there?
Yeah,
So-
true.
Somehow
It sort of
shitting
devolved
ourselves is
into-
more interesting.
Talking about shitting ourselves and also talking about, you know, divorcing your upper body and your legs.
It
like
is an
Jay's
interesting
grandparents.
concept to think about, though. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, you just never know. Like we come up with some strange hypotheticals on this podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to it. This actually concludes the episode, unless we have anything else that we want to talk about, which I don't think we do. I mean,
not really.
what
Just
possibly else is there to say? I mean, I shit myself.
I didn't
Fitz
shit
shit
myself.
himself.
Yeah, Fitz shit
That's the
himself.
moral of the story.
Moral of
Yeah,
the story:
so-
just shit yourself. I guess
If you want to be famous on YouTube, then shit yourself.
it's a
Yeah.
integral part of the
Right
grind.
now, on the bus,
Right now,
wherever you
Bill's
listen to
character.
this, shit yourself.
It's impossible not to have a sense of humor if you've shit yourself. You know, like you better.
That's probably true.
Yeah, you just gotta
Oh,
laugh.
actually, I don't know about that.
In any case, whether you shit yourself or not, I hope you're having a pleasant day and that you're surviving in these strange times.
Absolutely.
And thank you for listening to this Spotify exclusive episode with my friends Toby and Jay.
Yeah,
Thanks for
bye.
listening.
Thanks for listening. The
Wear a
key
mask.
people are
Wear a
out.
mask, distance yourself, and yeah, take a big shit in your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
Bye.
say goodbye in Māori? What is it? Key,
Is it-
what is it again? What is it?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
I'm Googling.
What is it again?
It says Kia Koa. Kia Koa.
Kia.
Is that it? Kia Koa? Like,
What?
Like spelled
That's
like this.
not. Is that really how it?
Well, that's what Google Translate says.
Yeah, well,
or
I can't-
Inohara.
Kia is a
Inohara.
car.
I don't know.
Haidira.
Haidira, that's it.
Haidira, everyone. That means goodbye.
Haidira. See you later.
All right.
Yep.
Peace.
Sweet. Bye.
Kia ora, bro. Welcome back.
People were just like, oh, I want to.
I was at a toilet.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a good stream. We've been building in North Korea, and it has been a blast building this building. We've just been adding on to this building to give it lights. Right now we can't get get it to be nighttime, so maybe next stream I'm gonna get some screenshots with a black and white shader, if I can find like a shader that does like gives it a sepia tone to the screen, and I can take like maybe like maritime photo looking things, so that way I can like get some like good film grain type of photos going for it. We worked on roads today, so we got a little bit of the roads going. That's pretty good. So thank you guys for watching, and peace.